The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madeir, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Forever Fab podcast with my fabulous guest, Jessica Krull. Now, Jessica, you are Editor-in-Chief, recently announced Editor-in-Chief of Allure magazine, which has so many moving parts. What do you do to decompress and to de-stress? Do you have a wellness or well-being routine of any kind?
Yes. So during the, pandemic, when I was stuck inside by myself, I really did a lot of cooking. I love to cook. I'm from the South, so I do a lot of making grits and biscuits and things like that, especially on the weekends. And I, was working out. I'd walk over to the gym, do some working out, getting outside. But I will say I've been a bit derailed since I became editor-in-chief because, things are so busy.
You
but
think?
I'm looking forward to, a little bit. I'm looking forward to getting back to that, back to a regular routine. I think I am sleep is like the biggest thing for me now.
Yes.
I have a whole sleep routine where I drink like sleepy time tea and wash my face and turn on the lavender diffuser.
Yes.
And listen to a podcast for sleep.
Yeah.
I'm just really into getting the most sleep as possible because I think that's something that once your sleep goes out of whack, it's like everything starts.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's true. We should share sleep routine tips, on a offline. Now, tell me something that people would say about you after you've left the room.
Oh,
she's running for president, y'all.
No. I mean, I think sometimes people say that I have a lot of energy. I am very short, actually. I'm only 5'2", but I have a big presence.
Yes.
I tell people it's the hair. An extra 6 inches on a good day.
It's beautiful.
So I think people would say, "Oh, that girl's got a lot of energy."
That's a great thing. I consider myself to have a lot of energy also. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, what excites you about the beauty industry now and in the future?
I think the beauty industry is just so open and accessible. If I want, I could walk into the, Rite Aid down the street and get an eyeliner and create something beautiful with that.
Yep.
And that means that anyone can truly practice it.
Yeah. At any price point.
At any price point, right? You don't have to have Gucci money to practice beauty in a way. And I love that. And I think also beauty in particular makes such an impact when it's done the right way. When we talk about changing beauty standards, when we talk about what was done at Allure in anti-aging or the shoots we've done with gap teeth or, those type of things, like that makes a difference.
Yes. When
a person sees a magazine and they see that reflected, something that some would consider not perfect, that can change the way a young girl sees herself for a very long time.
Yep.
And so I love being in an industry that makes that sort of change in someone's life.
Absolutely. Now, on the flip side, is there anything you would change about the beauty industry?
I would make us less wasteful. I would say.
Yeah.
While we've been home, I don't even don't look. It's like so much product and packaging. I've got boxes in my bathroom. I've got boxes in my front hallway. I got boxes in my dining room. Just so many boxes and so much product. And I think, we talk a lot about sustainability at Allure.
Yeah.
And we just made our first sustainability pledge last year, where we stopped using words like recyclable and biodegradable. And then it just really brings it home when you start receiving packages at home and you're like, wow, look at all this bubble wrap. Look at, all of this paper. Look at all consumerism is bad for the earth in a lot of ways. And so if I could change anything right now, I would say we've got to figure out a way to be a little bit less wasteful in our industry. And I think there are a lot of great minds working on that problem. So hopefully we'll make some headway on that soon.
I look forward to it because, like you, I've got boxes and packages and tubes and vials and everything everywhere on top of syringes and on top of all that stuff. Yeah. Now, if you could create one unique product or service that has yet to be created that you think will solve one of the beauty industry's most significant pains, what do you think that would be?
Oh, man. This is like saying, I want world peace.
Yeah, I know. Can we not have world peace? Can we not have world peace for beauty? I mean, can't we, all the products, all the brands, can't we just all get along?
No, I think if I could invent something that I could wake up and my hair would be twisted.
That's perfect. I love it. I'll take it.
It's like, I still spend 3 hours on wash day, maybe 5.
I know.
And I'm just saying, if I could just wake up and be like, oh, thanks. Perfect. Twist out. Done.
Right. And when I get my hair braided, the 7 hours that you're sitting in that chair, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love my braids, but I can't.
I know. I can't do this. This is so much.
I got it. So portable, robotic, compassionate hands.
Yes, right. Because some people are tender-headed.
Okay. What is your personal skincare routine?
Oh, well, I actually keep it pretty simple.
Okay, good.
As far as beauty editors go. As I mentioned before, I got some filler recently. So that definitely helps with my having to spend a lot of time on under eye stuff.
Yes.
Because I got tear trough filler. But
nice.
I think I wake up, I do just a simple face wash. Right now, I'm loving a Sobel RX. Dr. Sobel RX has a glycolic one that I use, or I just use Cetaphil.
Yep.
Something simple depending on how I feel. I'm also a big fan of a Lemis cleansing balm if I'm wearing makeup at night.
Yeah,
that's one of my
Lemis.
Yeah, that's my big jam. And then I use SK2 Pitera Essence. I've been using it for probably 5-7 years.
Ever.
Forever. I love that essence. It's really great. And then let's see. I usually put on some sort of vitamin C or exfoliating situation. I really love at night. I really love Olay has a retinol 24 line for nighttime. That has retinol in it. And then for daytime, I like to use it's a vitamin C mix. I can't think of the name right now. Resurfacing compound is in our Allure Beauty Box. And ever since I tried it, I've been using it nonstop.
Okay. Beauty Box work then.
U Beauty, that's it. U Beauty Resurfacing Compound.
Okay.
I use it. I'm on my second bottle, so it's a real go-to. And then I use sunscreen. So during the day, I use Supergoop.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite sunscreens. Right now, I'm using their serum sunscreen. And then also Black Girl sunscreen is another one of my favorites. Yeah. I'm using a La Roche-Posay sunscreen. I just kind of mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my usual skincare routine.
Well, it sounds as if you've checked all the boxes. Now, if that's your usual skincare routine and you have boxes all around, what is the one out of all those things? The one, either specific brand or type of beauty product that you cannot be without. If someone said, hi, Ms. Cruel, we're going to take away all these boxes and all these products. You can have one. What one would that be?
Well, right now it would be Taraji P. Henson's Twist and Set cream.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a twisting cream for my hair.
There you go.
Like I could skip skincare, I could skip makeup, but my hair can't be looking crazy. So I would take that with me. And it's so funny because the other day I had an event to go to.
Yes.
And my mom, being the Black mother that she is,
yes,
she was like, "Are you doing your hair?" I was like, "Yes,
right.
I'm doing my hair."
Of course.
She was like, "Use that Taraji because your hair always turns out good when you use that Taraji." I was like, "Yes, I'm using the Taraji. I got this."
You have to tell Taraji that story.
Yes, literally, she was like, "You're using the Taraji, right?"
What an
Thank you.
endorsement.
It's like, would you like to come and twist my hair for me?
I know, exactly. Oh my gosh, Jessica, this has been so amazing. Thank you for your time. This brings us to our last question, which is called the Fab Five. What are your, Ms. Jessica Krull, what are your top 5 recommendations for living your most fabulous and beautiful life ever?
Number 1, journal. Yes. I think it's so important to check in with yourself, to, sometimes you feel away and you don't know why. And so I think writing things down is so crucial. Yes. I like to do my journaling first thing in the morning. I'm an early riser, so I wake up about 5:36. Usually journal's the first thing in my hand, and I do a little bit of scribbling, whatever I'm thinking. Sometimes it's master planning. Sometimes it's just, I feel kind of sad today, whatever it might be.
Yes.
Eat well. Oh, I love to eat.
Me too.
I think
we'll have
cooking,
dinner.
Yes. Cooking and feeding other people, but also trying new recipes. It's like the one thing that I do that I can't think about anything else while I'm doing it. Oftentimes when you're busy, you're doing one thing, but thinking about another thing, thinking about all the things you have to do after you're finished with the thing that you're currently doing. And
so like cooking sounds like it's your moving meditation.
Yes, basically. Yeah. It's like the thing that I can't, like, I'm gonna cut my finger off if I don't pay attention. And so I think that's so important to me is cooking.
Number 3.
To living my fab life.
Or anyone's. What would you recommend to anyone to live a fabulous and beautiful life?
Yeah, I would say, plan for the future. And I will say I'm a to-do list addict.
Me too.
I'm looking at 5 to-do lists right now.
I love a to-do list.
Not healthy. I'm like way too into the to-do list. Like I make a to-do list like for, okay, this afternoon on a Saturday, what are you going to do? Like, to-do list.
Oh, you get all up in it.
Yes,
you get really granular.
Yeah, list on list on list. But I would say, I'm a true, really into personal finance. And one thing that I think is oftentimes we live life for today without thinking about tomorrow. And there's benefits to living both ways, right? But the way Social Security works, it's not going to be able to take care of all of us. And and I plan to live a very long and very healthy life.
Amen.
And so I think take time to learn about finance, take time to learn how to budget, learn what a 401k is and a Roth IRA is, because that is going to be your freedom. That's going to allow you to take all the trips you want, go all the dinners you want without worry.
Yeah.
And so I think understanding money is kind of an important part of living a fabulous life.
Excellent. And your last tip?
And the last tip would be surround yourself with not powerful friends, but friends who genuinely pour into you. I have people both at work and just in my personal life that I trust and I can count on, and people who just pour into me. And I do my best to return that favor and pour into them as well. And I think whenever anything good happens in my life, it's my friends who I call first. And whenever anything bad happens in my life, I call my friends first then too. And I just think it's so important to surround yourself with people who are just as motivated, just as driven, know when to cry, know when to tell you to go talk to your therapist, know when to tell you was wrong, but also will celebrate with you. So that I think is key to a fab life.
Well, those sound like Pretty fabulous tips to me. So in summary, journal to check in with yourself. Number 2 is eat well. Number 3 is to plan for the future. Number 4 is to take time to learn about finance because that will help to set you free. And number 5, surround yourself with friends who genuinely pour into you and return the favor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Fabulous tips. Jessica, this brings us to our close of this week's episode of the Forever Fab podcast with my fabulous guest, Jessica Krull. Thank you so much for your time, for your presence, for your accepting the nomination, for being editor-in-chief at Allure, and for just being a fabulous and beautiful woman inside and out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shirley. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. We hope to see you again on this podcast soon.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
This brings us to our closure of this week's episode of the Forever Fab podcast with my guest, Jessica Krull. Follow Jessica on social media at @JKrull. You can also follow Allure Magazine at Allure. Visit Allure Magazine at allure.com. You can also go to Allure's YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Allure Magazine. And also simply buy Allure Magazine and enjoy it and look forward to Jessica and her team's incredible new and exciting work. Thank you for listening to this week's Forever Fab podcast episode. Until next time, stay beautiful inside and out.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madere, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.